Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. For the kids who are in super hell, it's Snake People at the Movies. I'm Maddie.
I'm Helena.
I'm Ezra.
And I'm Leah. Back
we
again.
Yay!
With opinion.
Guest.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've had a guest. We've brought Leah back on. Friend of the show and also friend of us. Our friend.
Yep.
And
Leah.
also your friend with the least internet presence. And clout.
No, that just means access to your internet presence is really exclusive and therefore cool.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right.
So,
That's true.
beloved
Yeah.
listeners, you're really getting a peek behind the curtain of anonymity here.
There you go, yeah. Also, now we're your clout.
Yes,
It's true.
Which I think elevates us.
Yeah.
Also, it works out for everybody. As you can tell, we are talking more about Supernatural this week. We decided, oh no, we have opinions. So we are doing a bigger episode on that, and also like queer baiting and all that good shit. But quick, let's get a what we sneep out of the way real fast. I'll start. I don't think I fucking watched a movie.
hey, huge mood. Usually that's my line.
I know, but it's interesting because I've been watching a lot of movies recently, but I've been doing a lot of like playing games instead. A couple of the friends who I normally watch movies with, we were like, we've watched a lot of movies, let's do something else. So we started replaying a game we all like. I've been like replaying a lot of like childhood games recently, which has been like very fulfilling, and I'll actually hopefully talk about one of them later. But that's kind of what, and I've been watching. We've been all been rewatching Supernatural to various degrees, so that's what I've been doing. So that's me.
Nice.
Who wants to go next? What?
Go for it.
You go for it.
Yeah, so I've watched 2 movies called The Host.
I do love it says the host, parenthetical, Bong Joon-ho. The host, parenthetical, not Bong Joon-ho.
Decidedly not. I also watched them 2 days, like 1 day apart, completely unintentionally. I watched The Host, Bong Joon-ho's The Host, which is a kind of monster movie, Godzilla-type monster movie with some political undertones, like the original Godzilla, of course. It's good. It's on the Criterion Channel. It's also on like 5 other streaming services, too. It's on Hoopla. It's really easy to get to if people want to watch it. It's very good.
Shit.
Then the next day we were kind of talking about Supernatural like we've been doing, and we were talking about what's his bucket? The guy who plays Adam on Supernatural, who's Dean and Sam's half brother. What's
Jake
that actor's
Abel.
name, Leah? Jake Abel, thank you.
Jake
And
Abel.
Jake Abel was in the adaptation of Stephanie Meyer's post-Twilight novel, The Host, unrelated to Bong Joon-ho's The Host in every conceivable possible way, and they made a movie out of it in 2013, I want to say, with
That sounds right.
Saoirse Ronan and Max Irons.
I forgot Max Irons is in that.
It was super
Science is
interesting.
in it, and he's like the hunky one. Which is stupid, because Max Irons is like a twink.
He has twink energies.
He is a twink. I was blown away by how that movie pulled me in each and every direction in terms of who I wanted to end up with whom. The consent issues in that movie are wild. She's possessed by an alien, and the host wants to be with one guy and the alien wants to be with another, and it's like, why? There's a lot of stuff going on. I can't talk about it very coherently. I think, Leah, if you want to explain what it's about.
Helen and I watched that together. And, I mean, the easiest way that I can describe this is if you like your sci-fi to have strong Mormon prepper propaganda themes. Because it's a silent invasion of parasitic aliens that install themselves in your body and take over. And, you know, they come down a few at a time, and basically the only way you can tell that somebody has an alien in them is that there's a silver circle around their pupil. like you might see in the reflection of a ring light in a makeup YouTuber's video. But the point is that the characters that have survived this invasion and remained, unpossessed by aliens are just like the most batshit conspiracy theory preppers who have an underground bunker in volcanic caves in the Utah or Arizona desert. And that's the only reason they've survived. And so it's all very much like, repopulate the earth is the vibes. They're like growing wheat in a cave underground. And so basically it's one of those things where, I recently reread Twilight as a kind of like curiosity project, I guess. Just to see how it hit me as an adult. I've been rereading a lot of things that I was iffy on as a teenager and seeing if they vibe with me differently. But now I know so much more about like what kind of environment Mormonism is and what kind of environment, any kind of fundamentalist religion is, and how insidious it is at like the most base level of like your social expectations and your societal expectations and your personal just like all of this stuff that just went right over my head as a teenager. And now as an adult, I'm just like, oh no, this really is straight up religious propaganda. And I think it's really interesting that Twilight and the host kind of take two different pieces of that. And like, they're not about the same types of Mormonism extremes.
Right.
But they definitely, this got a little off topic about the plot of the host, but
no,
it's about aliens is what it's about.
Right. It's like, it's about aliens, but it's also about everything that you just said, right?
Yeah.
I think that like that is so strong. Like having the context from you about that, having not read the book before watching the movie was like super helpful to kind of understanding what the point of that of its existence was, I guess, in a way. Not like it was a good point to exist, but at least I understood it.
Stephanie Meyer has this other book, and I have a feeling it's called like The Alchemist or The Chemist or something. And it's about somebody who's on the run from a government agency, and I really kind of want to read it because I have a feeling it's taxing in big pharma.
Yeah. Well, I should all do a book club and read it along with Ready Player 2.
Anyway, yeah, I find it really fascinating to read things that I hate. I just reread Ready Player One yesterday and the day before. Like, it took me 2 days to read it.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll be watching the movie again, but like, wow, that book is pretentious.
It's bad.
It's so dumb.
I was actually, somebody ordered a bit of a tangent, and I'll try and get back to the movies that I've seen, but I was doing online orders today at work. I work at a bookstore. And for people who haven't figured that out yet. And somebody had ordered Ready Player 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like flipping through it, and I got to a paragraph where he was going through some kind of obstacle course that was Indiana Jones themed or something, and he was calling him Indy, and I was like, shut the fuck up. And he's something about like whipping boulders or something, I don't know. And they had to mention, I can't even remember what the context was. It didn't sound to me like any scene from an Indiana Jones movie, but something about, oh, you get extra points if you like free the slave children from the something, and I was like, what the fuck is this doing in the, is this from Temple of Doom? Because I haven't seen Temple of Doom, and I don't know if that's like a plot point from the worst Indiana Jones movie or something, but it was super uncomfortable and unnecessary, and I was just like, having not read Ready Player One, is this what it's like? Every single paragraph?
I mean, I shared some screen caps of it.
You did.
But it's overly explanatory. It's like like the one of the main characters' name, her username in the VR world is Artemis, but it's spelled with a 3 because, you know, the regular one was taken or whatever. And they go so far as to say something like, yeah, but Artemis, the regular spelling was taken, so I had to use Leet Speak and replace the E with a 3. Like, you could just say, oh, so I use Leet spelling. Like, everybody knows what Leet Speak is at this point. And
or if they don't, they can Google it super quick.
My theory about that is that I feel like maybe the editor wanted to make it a little more accessible, to make it open, like, readable to a wider range. But also, I feel like there's that a book like that to a super nerd, like, kind of inspires a sort of pride. They're not going to feel talked down to if it's over explained. What they're going to feel is, oh, I don't need the explanation because I'm smart, but they had to put it in here for all of those plebs, essentially.
Yeah.
And so having the narrative of the book just create this sense of superiority in the reader who's even slightly in the loop. Yikes. Like, it's just a lot. I hate that book. I hate that he removes all of his hair so he can game without showering as often. I hate that there's a 3-page, like, argument in favor of masturbation. It's... I hate that the whole point of it is that you have to memorize, like, all of these things from 60 years ago. Like, I mean, one of the first quest is a detailed step-by-step walkthrough of the Tomb of Horrors from the original D&D module.
Yeah. I think I got about as far as, like, the beginning of that when I tried to read that book, and I was just like, you know what? Never fucking mind.
I mean, there's another one that's basically a walkthrough of a Rush album, so...
Oh, boy.
Oh my god, why?
Yeah, it's just...
What's the point?
I don't know.
This is what happens when your parents name you Ernest.
Do you think he was homeschooled too?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't diss homeschooling. I just remember that was a big point in Christopher Paolini's whole rise to fame.
Deal? Oh, his whole
that he was
situation.
He was homeschooled and he graduated early, and his parents were publishers, so he just wrote a book.
I can't.
What else are they doing?
I just will never be able to take Christopher Paolini seriously. I'm just too hyper aware of what a dweeb he was as an adolescent because I fucking saw him.
Cannot get over the review in the Oregonian that of the book, of the first Aragon book, that appeared concurrently with a review of the movie.
Oof.
Back in 2008, and I vividly remember this one line because it was talking about how he'd grown up in Paradise Valley and he was homeschooled, and while his would-be colleagues were napping their way through sophomore geometry, he was already writing a book or something like that. Like it was phrased in like just such a pretentious way. And I haven't been able to find that review from 2008 on the Oregonian website, but I did look for it. But it's just stuck in my head this whole time, and that's like, I'm just like, every time I think about it. It's like,
Understandable.
Don't diss the kids who, like, had a more traditional schooling path, like...
Right.
You know.
Also, math can be boring sometimes, but that's just my opinion.
Math sucks, so...
Exactly. Anyway, Helena, what else have you seen?
I rewatched Mikey and Nikki. I got it on Criterion, the Criterion Collection, and I wanted to show it to my parents, and they're like, "That was depressing," and I was like, "I know, it's great, right?" And then I watched RoboCop for the first time, and it fucking whipped. It was really awesome.
God, I want to see it.
It's so good. And then I watched Pride for the first time finally, which was like so beautiful and wonderful. And there's a lot of stuff in there that falls into the typical what do you call it, like history, not biopic because that's not what it is necessarily, but historical inspirational story tropes, you know, in filmmaking where you're like, I doubt that it happened this way, but I was much more forgiving of that because everything else was just, I felt really, really honest and not whitewashed and just really heartwarming and nice to see.
I should watch that.
It's really sweet.
Legit,
I really like it.
Anytime you want to watch that movie, just text me. I don't care if it's the middle of the fucking night. I will bust out of bed and be like, bitch, we're watching Pride. I'm gonna cry a whole bunch.
I mean, y'all did show me Pride and Prejudice for the first time a few weeks ago.
This is true. I was very privileged to get to be there for your first viewing of that, and so please tell me when you're gonna watch Pride so I can freak the fuck out again.
Yeah, I might join you too. I would like to watch it again already.
Hell yeah.
And then everything else, I've been watching Succession with my parents, which is, you know, experiencing that feeling that you were talking about last time, Maddie, where you're like watching The Mandalorian and like, oh, this is what good television is like, because the only other television I had been watching was Supernatural.
Right.
It's like that, yeah. Succession is really good. And then I watch a couple episodes of it, and then I'm like, oh man, that's really good. And then I watch other television, and then I'm like, oh. Well, this is still fun, I guess.
This is a show, I guess.
Yeah, I have to balance it with, like, Succession, which is amazing, and then have a little bit of, like, indulgence on the side of something that's less good for me, but is also still tasty, I guess. That's what Supernatural is, I suppose. And Star Trek Disco. And that's it.
Disco's been kicking butt this season.
Disco is so cute.
I just love that show so much. I think it's got big idealistic feelings this season when I'm like, give me that good fucking food. I love Star Trek.
I feel like it's finally finding its place, hopefully, and I hope that they stick.
Yeah.
Because that's like the one issue that I've always had with it is that it's extremely plot heavy.
Well, yeah, because they're trying to cram like more arc plot than you see in most Star Trek seasons into like half as many episodes per season.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't leave enough room for filler, which is like, I understand, but it's also like,
but Star Trek to, like, play filler around. Is like the best filler.
Yeah. And so I think it's like, for the first couple of seasons, they've kind of done a restart of like, here's what the show is about. Actually, this is what the show is about. Actually, this is what the show is about. Plot wise, thematically, I think they've always kind of stuck they always have known what they're about.
Yeah,
but I think like the story arc wise, they've just been kind of like, maybe we'll try.
Maybe we'll do this now, and we're doing this now. Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
Yeah. So it's just kind of fun to see where they're going with that, and it's like, okay, well now you're here, so let's see what you do with it. And the last couple episodes have been really, really lovely. Yeah. I've enjoyed the cross-generational queer relationships that they're bringing onto the show.
It's such good stuff. I mean, I guess it seems weird to call this a spoiler, but like kind of a spoiler for Star Trek Discovery, like. It started out as a prequel, and now they are in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're no longer constrained by like this has to have believably or semi-believably taken place prior to the existing Star Trek canon, minus Enterprise, obviously. And now they can just do whatever the fuck they want, which is just like, I don't know, I like that.
Yeah.
That is nicer to have it
like
about her brother, free of the constraints.
Yeah.
Because I noticed they were having kind of a hard time fitting it into the timeline.
They were already facing backlash from people because it was like one of the more openly diverse shows in the canon. And like, yeah, exactly. And then I think, like, you know, criticism about, well, you can't do this because the Klingons don't look like that, and this is established to look like this. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, shut up.
First of all, it's Star Trek. Leave it alone.
First of all, it's Star Trek. Don't take it so seriously like that, man. Second of all, like, as long as the principles are still there, then it's still Star Trek, which the principles were still there, so you're insane. And, but, you know, I can, now they're free to kind of, like, do whatever the fuck they want, because this is, like, you know,
isn't it like 1,000 years in the future or something?
It's like 900
where they're at
something,
now. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Good for them. Real quick, I do want to say, I just remembered, I've also been watching the Clone Wars series with Madeline.
Clone Wars!
Still want to get on
so fucking...
that, Maddie.
Yes, please. It's so good. And Mando. I was just thinking about that because I was thinking about, like, oh yeah, I did watch good TV recently, huh?
Yeah.
And it was the Clone Wars and Mando, which I got just real emotional about both of them. Excited to watch the episode that came out today.
Please continue to wave at all of our collective boyfriend Obi-Wan Kenobi whenever you see him on Clone Wars.
I do every time. I love his gay little ass. Yeah.
His gay little ass.
Love his cartoon character thing where you can tell he's in distress because his perfect hair like flops over his forehead. It's good.
Hey.
Aww.
Hey, Helena, you want to share that bomb that you dropped on all of us when you told us that Misha Collins auditioned for Anakin?
yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so this is like, apparently this is established truth. Long in the supernatural fandom. Misha Collins, whenever those auditions were, pre, 2000s,
many moons ago,
for the role of, young adult Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
And he didn't get cast, partly because the day of the audition, he went into like a Starbucks or something, or a coffee shop, and told the barista that he had just been at a Star Wars audition, and broke his NDA like immediately, because when you do that, like you can't even talk about even being considered for the project,
right?
Because they're so lock and key,
right?
So he could have been, probably not, but he could have been, which just explains everything about
I feel like it just tracks.
It just tracks with his general approach to life.
Yeah.
I just felt like that needed to be on the recording.
No, agreed.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
That you posted that and I like choked on my own spit. It was highly undignified.
It's so funny. What an alternate universe. Misha Collins and Ewan McGregor in the same shot. I don't know how I would feel about that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I genuinely have no idea.
Yeah. Can you imagine Ewan McGregor shouting, "You're my brother, Anakin, I loved you," at Misha Collins?
I like to imagine it.
It's just like my fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Just like that fan fiction.
Just like my fan fictions, yeah. See, what have you seen?
I watched all of that Netflix Blood of Zeus show.
Yeah, how was that?
Was it good? No. Did it rule? Kind of. It looked really good. Like the animation style was super cool. All of the character design was very cool. It was extremely horny. Which, your mileage may vary on whether that's a good thing or bad thing or neutral. They did that thing where, like, they didn't try to differentiate between characters who were, like, a different generation, so I wasn't really paying that close attention. So for the first, like, episode and a half, I thought that the main character's mom was his wife. Anyway, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
The Witcher problem.
Anyway.
Yeah, Witcher problem. But Matt Mercer's in it as, somehow the twinkiest of all the Greek gods.
Shocking.
Very twinky, Hermes. So that was
Yeah, that tracks.
Because I was like, again, I wasn't paying super close attention. I was just like, Matt?
Matt, is that
Wait,
you?
Is this animated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, unfortunately it's not just like Matt Mercer in strappy sandals, which obviously we would all be extremely excited about.
Yeah. C'est la vie, I guess.
Anyway. I'm been watching Star Trek Discovery with my parents, and also watching it back from the beginning with my roommate, my friend Logan, so that's been kind of fun to revisit it. I had forgotten how hot Jason Isaacs is in the first
season. I was wondering how long it was going to take for him to come up.
Captain War Crimes or whatever.
Ezra, I don't believe you that you forgot that. That's not possible.
I had an idea, but like I didn't. It hit me harder than I expected to. I was like, oh yeah, fuck.
Yeah, he's
big
really
sexy.
Unfortunately, it was really great because I was like, look, unfortunately, sometimes you just want to fuck Captain War Crimes. And Logan just soaked over me and he goes, I didn't realize you had a type. And I was like, do not bring up Roy Mustang right now.
Wow, get roasted.
Now I'm just picturing Travis Willingham in a Star Trek uniform.
Huh.
I mean, I would like to thank you heartily.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to take a minute to just enjoy that image.
I would like to see it.
I'm thinking about it.
Please.
Yeah, anyway, so that was a fucking drag and a half, and I deserved it. I'm very happy for the most boring dude on Bake Off for narrowly not winning the Bake Off finale because the fucking child did, which was
yay!
Also just he
I haven't
like
seen
dead
it yet.
Inside for like that entire season, which was a very like relatable feeling.
I love the child. He was my favorite. I'm so happy.
Yeah, he's fucking great. So good for him.
That's my boy.
I don't know. Yeah, that's my fucking son.
I have a question. And feel free to cut this if it doesn't fit. The old hosts of Bake Off have their own show now?
Oh, no shit, seriously?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sue and Mel or whatever?
Yeah, Mel and Sue. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
So they have a show where they're like
Good for them.
or something.
Good for them.
I need to watch
Keep
that.
seeing gifs of it on
That
Tumblr.
sounds like that whips.
Yeah, honestly, they look good. They still look extremely gay for each other, which I know they're not in real life, but
yeah, one of them is
watching the
married
early
to
seasons of Bake Off. Sorry,
one of them is married to a man. So
yes,
sad but true.
Watching the early seasons what they hosted were difficult because of my crush on Sue. So now, thankfully, I can focus less on the screen when I'm watching, and I can tippity type away on my little Google Doc while I'm watching Great British Bake Off. Much easier.
I type away on my little.
I don't have to constantly. Yeah.
Amazing.
Like a little gremlin, anyway.
Wild.
Ezra, was that it for you? Is it my turn?
Oh, no, I don't know. My roommate ran, he, like, runs a Wednesday night D&D game, and a bunch of people couldn't make it, so he was like, screw it, I'm running a one-shot, you're welcome to play if you want. So instead of, like, hiding in my bedroom, I just sat next to him on the armchair with my mic off, and just yelled in the vague direction of his mic whenever I wanted to talk. I don't know, we were on a train and fought a giant two-headed dragon turkey, and then it all turned out to be a dream, and right at the end, Kevin just looks at me and goes, okay, I turned my mic off, now you get to decide, do you want your character to have been a hallucination or not?
Ooh.
I love that, actually.
And I said no purely because I just really needed to walk up to the bartender and ask if he could bring us any turkey sandwiches. I was like, no, I have to get this joke in there. But then earlier today I was like, hey, can I just like type up a little thing for the roleplay chat where I just like disappear? He's like, absolutely.
Nice.
So yeah, no, I had a really good time. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. Been watching a lot of Drawfee, I guess.
Yeah, love a Drawfee.
Watch the stream where I like walked into the kitchen and Kevin's like, they're drawing Gritty and Castiel in Super Mega Homo Hell, and I was just like, okay.
They are.
Yeah,
I love them so much.
Oh, me too.
Legends.
Yeah, no,
Legends only. Leah, what have you seen?
So I watched The Host with Helena, the Stephanie Meyer one. The one that's bad, not the one that's good. A couple of weeks ago, we watched Pride and Prejudice, Ezra and Maddie and I. And I think you guys might have talked about that one already. I'm actually not caught up on you.
We did a whole fucking episode about it.
Okay. Well, I was there for that. It was wonderful. It was my first time ever seeing Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
after after I had developed a high school aversion to Jane Austen.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like I read Emma in high school and it was difficult and I didn't enjoy it.
It's difficult.
And then I don't want to offend anyone with this. I saw the Emma Thompson Emma. No,
I have no dog in this race.
Emma
it's not Emma
Sense and
Thompson.
Sensibility? Oh, the one with
No.
Gwyneth Paltrow?
I saw the Gwyneth Paltrow Emma and it was really boring.
Oh yeah, it is. You're right.
It's really boring. And so anyway, I developed a lifelong distaste for Austen that I've decided I'm a grown up enough to get over. And I really enjoyed Pride and Prejudice.
Excellent, because I love Pride and Prejudice.
Keira Knightley
should watch.
Is just I thought that the incredible part of that movie, and I know you already talked about this, I'm sure, is that it manages to translate into modern emotions.
Yes.
This kind of like stilted, formal story.
Yeah.
And it just made it really accessible. That's all.
Yeah.
I've also been watching a lot of Supernatural. What, Helena?
Super nasty. I was going to say we need to watch the Romola Garai, Johnny Lee Miller, Emma.
Yes, please. I've never seen it.
Also,
I mean, we should just watch the new Emma.
Also that.
That too,
hang out with me while we watch the new Emma.
I mean, we could do both.
Actually,
me.
This is true.
I want to see Johnny Lee Miller. I love him.
Ezra,
I do love him.
Sorry, Ezra, did you want to talk about Blow Dry a little bit?
Oh, I think we probably need to move on to that because we want to get done by about 10 o'clock. So.
Right.
You're right. I feel like that could be a movie on it, an episode on its own too.
Yeah, we should make everybody watch Blow Dry and then do an
weird, obscure movies about small things that have big hearts.
Yeah. God, I love that film.
Okay, we can move on.
Let's all right, let's fucking get into it.
Yeah.
Let's get in and out and into it.
What are we starting with?
So,
I mean,
do we want to get
what's
first
queer
into
baiting?
Yeah, once again, defining our terms.
What I was saying was we're all old enough to have sort of I'm gonna say like grown, like had our like former like adolescence and fandom be like the golden age of queer baiting. Do people feel like that's fair to say?
Yeah, I feel like
that's
fair
I think that the differentiation between earlier fandoms and like current kind of that middle ground is that earlier fandoms it all had to be subtext. They couldn't bait people.
You couldn't have done it if you wanted to.
Right, they couldn't bait people with queer shit to get them to watch it because that was not really a point where media was yet. So there was gay shit, but it was intentional subtext because they couldn't make it canonical. I'm thinking of Xena.
Xena and Gabrielle.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was them begging, that it was like, please, please, please let us put in, this much of stuff, and they're like, no.
Right, so they weren't baiting, like, queer baiting is specifically like, we're gonna do gay shit to get, like, the fangirl / the gays to watch our stuff.
Yeah, we're going to tease people with the possibility of some kind of same gender relationship, but but everybody knows we're never really gonna do it.
Which I think we were growing up in that perfect middle ground where I mean we are still in a period where TV execs are like, if you put gay shit in my show, I will scream at you and walk backwards into hell. But also like
into super
mega homo hell.
Super mega homo
right
hell.
But it is
but there's a lot more possibility.
Exactly. It is now a thing where creators can fight tooth and nail for it and actually gain some ground. Where that was just not really possible, even like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But what was possible is they could be like, oh, we know y'all like the men who kiss, right? And we're like, yeah, we love the men who kiss.
We know that the two of you like it when two white men stare intently at one another.
This is a straight women. This is a way for you to process your sexuality in a safe way. And gays, you're gay, right? And we were all like, yeah, that's true. And they're like, great. Anyway, so we've made up some women for them to kiss instead. And we were like, all right. This is the the John Mulaney bit that's like, welcome to Delta Airline, airline. Fucking shit. Life is a fucking nightmare, but it's me walking back and forth between the bathroom and the counter, and every time I walk back, they're like, "Fuck you," and I'm like, "Okay." That's the era we grew up in. Is what I was saying.
I'm wondering where DS9 falls into this. Probably in the Xena area.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Because it's like they wrote this and they did not intend, I guess, because they're weird. I don't know.
Yeah, the intention is
they wrote these two characters. Yes, and then the actors who read the script and were like, "Oh, so we're the first canonically gay characters on Star Trek. That's neat." And then they were like, "No, we didn't." And then they just did that for several seasons, and then they both gave them women to be in a relationship with, which kind of you can argue that makes sense for Bashir's character. It makes absolutely zero goddamn sense for Garrick to end up with a woman, but okay. They did it anyway, so I don't know if that's necessarily queer baiting. It's more just we didn't want to do this and we keep tripping and doing it anyway because we're falling into that category of straight writers who create accidentally gay characters without knowing it.
Realize that's what they're doing.
And don't realize it, and then they're rather than accepting that and going, "Oh, that's cool," they say, "I hate this. I must destroy every evidence of it."
I mean, I feel like the subtext era was a lot longer than the queerbait era was, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because the subtext era reaches all the way back to original series Star Trek. And even earlier, I mean.
Yeah, the Man from U.N.C.L.E., Starsky and Hutch stuff, all of these things where you had this kind of, there were probably, it's so hard to know, but there were probably some people involved in the creative process of these shows who
were closeted.
Yeah, who were closeted or knew people who were gay and were understanding and compassionate allies who were these relationships are real.
Yeah, even back to original comic books and old Hollywood.
Batman and Superman are just
Batman and Superman making out.
They're married. Jesus Christ.
They are.
They are extremely married.
Then, I feel at some point in the early aughts, there was that shift, and it turned to oh, hey, we realize now that this is something that people are into.
Right.
And this is something that we can advertise on.
We can use this as a marketing tool to gain a greater audience.
We can use this as a marketing
without
tool.
having to actually do anything.
Yeah, and I feel those things came about because the fandom started getting louder and more visible online.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Merlin specifically, where they went a couple of a good number of episodes without realizing the chemistry that they were filming. And then the fandom started getting loud about it, and they're like, okay, we've introduced a woman. She'll be in one episode and you'll never see her again.
Gotta hit the emergency head button. It's
exactly.
the fucking, I'm just imagining the whatever easy button from those stupid commercials.
It's that straight.
It just says head.
Yeah.
And the hilarious thing with that is it's super, even when they try to get out of it while also marketing off of it, it super doesn't, pressing the head button does not work, because in those cases with Merlin, with Sherlock, with
this, that, and the other,
with Supernatural, it doesn't matter that you've written in this woman for them to have sex with, because the story that you have written about their relationship is still inherently romantic in some way or another, even if it's Holmes and Watson is a kind of a romantic friendship, or however you want to interpret it. The story of Merlin is the story of Merlin and Arthur, which you wrote the show around this. You did that, and you're stuck with it now. And you either, to be fair, they walk back a lot of stuff on that show, but you either walk back the entire concept to your show, or you just keep doing nothing for 5 seasons, which is what I guess
exactly
they decided they wanted to do, while continuing to add male characters who continue to have balls to the walls chemistry with Colin Morgan in a way that's kind of like, this could be
Shout out
something.
to my bisexual
and you keep having to hit the head. Gawain and Lancelot, you keep having to smash this button, and it's just like, dude, just give into it, man. It would be so much easier.
This seems like such a pain in the ass. I don't understand why you're working this hard.
Just let it happen.
It's such a pain in the ass to have to, like, decimate these characters and basically make them, just kind of rewrite them into nothing in order to get around the fact that you wrote something interesting that happened to also be kind of gay unintentionally.
Or you could just have male intimacy. And not necessarily in, like, a homoerotic way, though it was.
Yeah.
But even just to have, like, 2 dudes who had an emotional, significant connection, and they're like, ooh, that reads as too homo for us, and it's like...
Can't be having that.
Okay, maybe...
No homosociality allowed.
Maybe dudes can have a significant emotional connection sometimes, you fucking weirdos. Hello?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Which,
I
find that really interesting, Merlin specifically, as kind of an early member of that era, because it did start airing the same year as Supernatural and as the Doctor Who reboot. Those all started in the same year, which
that
baffles me because Merlin kind of immediately became culturally irrelevant and got replaced by Sherlock in that trio.
Merlin was a few years after. Those, like, Merlin was premiering the same year that Supernatural season 4 was premiering, which is fucking hilarious anyway.
Yeah, but, like, being part of that era with, like, Smallville and stuff, like...
Oh my god.
Fucking Smallville. I remember...
Yeah, they name-dropped Chad Michael Murray on Supernatural, and I
they sure did.
Wow, what talk about things that just immediately vacated the, like, fandom cultural consciousness. Like, people, there was just, like, hundreds of thousands of words of Clark Kent Lex Luthor pornography on LiveJournal.
Of course.
That I kept accidentally stumbling across as, like, a 13-year-old looking for Buffy fic.
You know what baffles me? You know what baffles me about television? Is how old Supernatural really is comparatively.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Supernatural came out 4 years after Firefly.
Yeah, but it's because it just was such a long
3 years
show.
after the X-Files stopped airing.
Yeah,
that's fucking whack.
Like, when did Buffy stop? I don't actually know. Remember. I don't follow Buffy.
But Buffy ended in 2003.
Yeah,
2 years.
Yeah,
2 years before Supernatural started. Like,
Lost started in 2004, so Supernatural and Lost were on at the same time.
Did Merlin seriously ran from 2008 to 2012? I thought it was way older than that.
but it is so...
No, it's just poor production quality.
And also...
well, you know, F's in the chat for the BBC's BBC Wales fucking budget.
You mean the shoestring and 3/4 that they have? Yeah. But also, like, I feel like the thing is a lot of Merlin's contemporaries just ran for longer. Like, Supernatural ran for a long fucking time. Merlin, comparatively, did not run for that long.
Well, what's interesting is that Merlin had still 5 consecutive seasons, which is more than we can say for whatever the fuck Sherlock is doing. Who knows? Which is, like, 4? Well, I don't know. 4? Question mark? Maybe?
There are
4 seasons.
The 4th one was so bad that it's been erased.
Yes, that's the thing, is that the 4th one has conspiracy theories.
3 episodes, like, 3 years apart.
Right.
I gotta check and see exactly how many episodes of Sherlock it is that I've never watched.
For me, it's like at least...
I watched 3 seasons. I mean...
I watched that.
You know, I mean, that's typical for British television to to space it out like that.
It is. I mean,
there's less
original
material.
Doctor Who was like that.
Yeah,
back in the day.
And Granada Holmes was like that.
Fun fact.
Hmm?
It actually is the entire season 4 of Sherlock. So I thought that John got married and that was like the last season. No, they made a whole other season
they
of that
did.
show that I didn't
We
watch.
saw that episode and then didn't watch any more.
I have seen... Yeah, but because I didn't watch episode 1 or episode 3 of season 3, which means that there are... I think there are actually equal numbers of Sherlock episodes that I have and have not seen.
Same.
Proud of you.
No, I just, because okay, there's gotta be a statute of limitations that runs out. I illegally downloaded the first episodes of Sherlock, 2 weeks after they aired in the UK. Because everybody because I was super dialed into Doctor Who, and everybody was like, oh shit, and I liked the Sherlock Holmes short stories.
Yeah.
And so I got in on the ground fucking floor of the Sherlock fandom, and then got out before shit really hit the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where I was just I was looking at these episodes and I'm like, shut the front fucking door. When was Toby Jones on
my
here?
God.
Yeah, dude.
When was Toby Jones on there?
Season 4, episode 2, entitled The Lying Detective, playing, I don't fucking know.
Somebody.
Had.
Yeah.
I'm looking, he's Culverton Smith. I'm sure I like that short story. I'm sure they fucked it up wildly. I don't know why I'm yelling about this. This podcast is not about Sherlock.
We already did an episode talking about how much we hate Sherlock.
Once again, my whole comment on Sherlock is go watch these Sherlock sucks and here's why videos. Maybe I'll watch that after we're done recording.
It's 2 hours, but what a good 2 hours it is.
It's my happy place, honestly.
Leah, sorry.
I just want to go watch that clip from Jekyll of James Nesbitt getting hit in the face with a cigarette.
I just wanted to go back to what Helena pointed out about Lost and Supernatural being on at the same time. Because
alarming.
If you don't mind if I bring up an outside friend, I was talking to Chris recently. We do have other friends. I was talking to my friend Chris recently, friend of us all, local comedian and podcaster. And he has a lot of things to say about Lost.
Good.
And he was pointing out, he always has this point about how Lost is kind of the turning point for television between episodic and arc-based television. And I do think it's really interesting that it's concurrent with Supernatural, because you can see Supernatural start to adopt that style later on in the show around season 4. And because Supernatural's been on so long, it's just gone through so many eras.
Yeah.
So I think it might have honestly even started out in the subtext region. Right? I mean, obviously there wasn't any subtext that they could do because siblings.
Yeah, because the first 3 seasons were just the brothers.
But people did it anyway.
Life finds a way.
As they say, it's true. That didn't stop people, but
yeah, but
it kicked
having
off.
that having that subtext and all that, and then having that kind of lead into the more queer baiting era of television.
Yeah.
That's just an interesting juxtaposition to make.
I agree.
Oh boy. Now I'm thinking about Supernatural.
Hey Helena, do you want to go over your Destiel timeline that you've written out?
The one that's 3 pages long?
It's only
it's a page and a half now.
A page and a half.
Okay, well, I'm looking at it on my phone. So
okay, yeah.
It feels emotionally
3 phone pages long. Yes.
I'm not going to go over the whole thing.
No, give us
I mostly did that for kicks.
An overall kind of idea.
Yeah, so you know how we talked about last week? We talked about the episode where Castiel goes to Super Hell because he's in big homo love with Dean Winchester, which we even knew.
He deserves better, but yes.
things have happened since then.
They have.
Shocking.
Have you heard?
Development.
Things have happened.
Not only has the show has ended, but things still.
But not for
happening.
us.
Not for us, though. So just to back up, for people who have not listened to last week's episode or who need more context on Supernatural,
I'm
not
on
talk
Twitter.com or Tumblr.com. Yeah.
So lucky for you. I'm just going to give a tiny bit of context. So again, ages ago, eons, 2005, Bush administration, Supernatural airs.
They have flip phones.
End of season 2.
Sam has a BlackBerry.
They have flip phones. It's about Sam and Dean. They're brothers.
What's that? It's the Douglas Adams thing that X many millions of years ago the universe was created. Most people consider this to be a bad idea.
Move. Yeah. 2005, Supernatural was created.
This is widely considered to be a bad move.
That post that says that Supernatural had 3 years in the Bush era just shoots me in the head every time.
It just blows my fucking mind. God.
End of season 2. Sam dies. You don't need to know why. He's fine.
He got over it.
He got over it. Dean is like, oh no, I hate this. Can you make my baby brother come back to a demon? Demon's like, yes, I have to take your soul to hell. And Dean's like, cool, sounds fine. And Sam comes back to life, but he's super sad. And they try to get Dean out of the deal in season 3. Season 3 is like, all the filler episodes, but also dealing with like the fact that Dean is going to be dragged literally to hell.
Dean's going to go to super hell. Well, actually, he's just going to regular hell.
No, just regular hell.
Just normal, regular.
We don't even know about super hell yet.
Walmart brand hell.
He's going to torture hell.
Yeah.
He's going to torture hell.
Not one of the fun ones.
And the original plan, apparently, was that maybe Dean was going to hell, maybe he was not going to hell, but Sam was going to break Dean out of hell. Like, something was going to happen, and they were going to win, and it was going to be fine. Sam was going to get him out of hell. But the season 3 aired during the writer's strike, and so they weren't able to plan the back half, like this back 6 episodes that they usually have. Season 3 only has 16 episodes. Usual season has about 21 or 22. So they didn't get to do that. And I think it was really kind of great that it worked out that way, actually, because then they made a bolder, more interesting move in a way. And Dean ends up in hell. That's how season 3 ends. He's dead. He's in hell. He gets torn apart by hellhounds. And it's like,
and it's fucked up.
Oh, rip.
He's
dead. 2008. Dean is not in hell anymore. He's been resurrected by this Destiel motherfucker who shows up and is like, hi.
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 Hey, let me break all the mirrors on the ceiling of your hotel room.
Dean, pick up the phone! Dean! Answer my text! And Dean's like, oh god, what's happening?
They decide to expand the mythos of the show to include angels, even though, as we stated previously before recording, they decided earlier in season 2 that angels don't exist. Haha, don't be stupid. Angels exist now. God exists. Cass is like, LOL, you're cute. Want to help me avert the apocalypse? This is what happens. The very next day, I am not fucking shitting you. I am not lying. The very next day after the first episode with Destiel, somebody has already created a fan community for Dean and Cass shippers.
He was in like the last 5 minutes of the episode, and they're like, gay.
Yeah. Immediately. Destiel is supposed to be like this minor character they introduced, not a minor character, but like one of the many angels that they introduced on that show. He was supposed to be in like 3 episodes and then get killed off. That doesn't happen. He's too popular of a character and they decide to keep him on. Again, I think a correct decision. But I'm biased, depending on, where you're coming from. Supernatural is supposed to end after season 5, and they write an actual good finale for it called Swan Song.
It's one of the best television finales I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's an extremely good finale, and it should have ended then, arguably. It doesn't, though.
We get 10 more years of this, baby.
10 more years.
10 more seasons, which I haven't really watched except for parts of season 6. I've talked about this, like, I I don't know what I was doing during season 6, because someone will bring up a completely inconsequential episode like Live Free or Twi Hard, and I'm like, I know exactly what episode you're talking about. Yes, I remember that one where Dean kills vampires. And then they'll talk about like a major plot point that happened in season 6. Like, oh yeah, Cass becomes God basically, and he absorbs all the souls in purgatory. That. And I'm like, what? I don't remember this.
That was season 6.
No, that
they
was
had 9 more seasons after Cass became God.
That was season 7.
They have 8 more seasons after Destiel became God. They were like, yeah, we'll keep going. What? Anyway.
Sam didn't have a soul for half of the season.
Sam didn't have a soul.
And no one ever got over that.
His mom's parents came back, or his grandfather came back.
Yeah. Their parents both came back from the dead.
That was later, though. That wasn't in season 6.
Yeah. No. Later. But I'm just saying, in terms of the, like, between season 5 and season 15.
Y'all, there was an episode in season 4 called Jump the Shark. How many sharks have they jumped at this point?
Oh, man. They just keep rewinding the tape and jumping back over.
Season 4, they already acknowledged that they were going over the fucking top. I would also like to mention,
the plot of... Mm-hmm.
I would also like to mention this post that I found on Tumblr from the incredible Prokopets, where he says something like, I can't even make fun of Supernatural because everything, it's just I posted that because you picked your username from it. Do you mind if I pull that up? Is that going to take too much time?
No, please. I will just say briefly while you're doing that the plots, for those who don't know Supernatural super well, the plots of season 4 and 5 are basically, let's avert the apocalypse, ! And it's this whole, like, really Leah and I were watching Supernatural last night?
Yeah, and also all day.
No, sorry, night before. All of today, but you and I watched a bunch of Supernatural together recently,
We did, that's true.
And I was talking about how season 4 and 5 have this incredible arc of this parallel of, like, Sam is Lucifer's vessel and Dean is Michael's vessel, and they are, like, 2 sons of an absent father, and, like, they're supposed to basically start the apocalypse and go to war, and, like, it's this whole arc of, like, the 2 of them, like, just care about each other so much that they refuse to fight and, like, tear the world. It's, like, this fucking amazing, cool, interesting arc, and they end season 5 on that, and also it's, like, heaven and hell fighting in the apocalypse and, like, really world-ending shit. And then they kept going.
Yeah.
They did 10 more seasons after that!
So Prokopet says, every time somebody tries to explain the meta plot of Supernatural to me, it basically ends up sounding like a redneck Dragon Ball Z. I'm sure there's some nuance that I'm failing to grasp here. And then somebody asks him to elaborate, and he says, mostly I get the impression of a show that doesn't know how not to escalate. Every threat's got to be quantitatively bigger and better than the one that came before. Every Deus Ex Machina has got to be shinier than the last one. Every season's got to end with a massive 11th hour power-up for our heroes, and only for the next season to raise the stakes enough to put them back in the underdog position. Like, it's like, you beat the devil himself, well, now you got to fight the devil's cousin Phil, who has conveniently gone entirely unmentioned up to this point, but he's totally twice as evil. And then the next response is just OP Prokopets saying, the last paragraph was literally the most ridiculous hypothetical example I could think of, and people are messaging me to say his name was Metatron, not Phil. I can't even make fun of this show.
Yeah.
So that's just your general overview of, like, what Supernatural is.
Yes. You
thank
later
you
told
to
me
David J. Prokopets, Tumblr user and RPG game designer.
You told me later that there is another villain at another point who's God's sister, but who's evil.
Her name is
and
Amara.
I was like, yeah, and I was like,
yes, I've heard of her.
That's like the one episode Lupin arc where they fight Jesus' sister, who's a vampire.
Yeah.
Sounds
but
dope, yeah.
But Lupin the Third was like, you know what, we're gonna make this a 1 episode thing, and then they're all gonna move on and never talk about it ever again. And that's the only way escalation like that works, where you do something so batshit that no one ever talks about it ever again, and it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, Metatron is the major villain of season 8, and
fucking Metatron.
Abaddon, who's like one of the demons of the Duchess Demons of Hell, like, is the main villain of season 9.
All right.
And then it's
okay.
Purgatory. That's what I know.
Do they fight Beelzebub at some point? Like,
I know that Dean and Cass go to Purgatory in season 8.
Yeah.
They go to Purgatory a bunch, don't they?
They do, but it's season 8 that's like the real good shit, though.
Yeah, there's also that bit when all the angels fall and somebody dubbed It's Raining Men over it. That was very funny.
That's pretty good.
So all this happens. I'm unclear on all the details about when shit happens.
Yeah,
but
I feel like I'm getting lost in the weeds just talking about all the bad shit.
Yeah, all of us stopped. Basically,
eventually they adopt a son.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Who's the Antichrist?
Yeah.
All of us stopped consistently watching Supernatural after. Leah, I think Leah, you watched the most. When did you
season
stop?
9.
Yeah, I stopped consistently watching after Swan Song.
But I don't recall anything that happened in season 9.
Yeah, so for all of us, it's been years, and Z was never in the pit with us.
Proud of you.
Thanks.
God, I wish that was me.
Yeah, no, it's really funny. I've been on the internet kind of since the beginning of the Supernatural fandom, but I just never got into it. Like, I've watched the first 2.5 seasons of it. At one point, kind of didn't really... I don't know. I don't remember. I guess I was just watching it at a point where it kind of just, like, didn't really grab me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've been hyper aware of it as a fandom cultural phenomenon for the entire time.
Yeah.
You just can't not. It was like
you can't
stuff.
not.
Like,
yeah.
Look, I am old enough to have been on Tumblr for the Misha Apocalypse.
Yeah, raise your hand if you were on Tumblr for the Misha Apocalypse.
This is an audio medium, so I'm raising my hand.
We are all raising our hands. We all remember.
We all remember the day.
Hey, Ezra, I still think that Sam Winchester is extremely your type of character.
I agree.
I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is.
I love both of my boys equally. And by equally, I mean I love them so much that I die every day. Rewatching season 1 has been an eternal torture because every single episode I'm just like, I just really care about them. I just really...
Same.
We just watched, go ahead.
One time I mistook a photo of very young Jensen Ackles for Emma Thompson.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the lips, isn't it?
It's the lips.
Look.
Ow. That was also the most attracted to Jensen Ackles I've ever been in my life.
God, I wish that was me.
It was a really fun.
I really wish
3
that
minutes.
was me too.
Helena, handshake.
I don't know. I mean, like, I understand why everybody liked it so much, and like, I remember the rise of the fucking RPF stuff because people
never 5get
didn't want to do an incest shipping.
Mm-hmm.
But they still wanted the attractive men to kiss, and they were like, well, the actors aren't related, and it's like, well, you're not.
You do understand why that's also weird, right?
Like,
they were like,
different
no.
flavor of weird, but like,
and I was like, okay.
I mean, we have to remember that this was a whole different era of fandom.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
People
like,
yes.
I mean,
Twitter
I'm just saying this for the listeners. Twitter didn't exist yet. Twitter wasn't launched until like 2008 or something.
That's true. Twitter didn't exist, you know.
It was the live journal era. The purity culture and cancel culture didn't exist yet.
No. Yeah.
People were happy to keep to their own little communities.
Yeah.
And
also there was more of a just you don't try to talk to the people making the show.
Correct.
Remember don't read?
Yeah.
God, I missed that.
Yeah. Me too.
I still live my life by those rules.
Oh yeah, I mean, same.
I mean, as like a cultural etiquette of fandom.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yes. I saw somebody talking the other day about like squick versus like trigger warnings, and they were like, just use trigger warnings like an adult, and someone had to be like, I don't think you understand what squick means.
Those are two different things.
Because it genuinely means squick is generally like, not my like kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Which is a very different thing from this is triggering to me.
Yeah, I actually wish that squick would come back as because I need that term from me personally more often than I personally need trigger warnings. I just don't have a lot of that. But I have some stuff where like I forgot that that's a word you can use. I was just like, I can't look at this or this makes me kind of uncomfortable, but like it's not going to trigger anything for me.
Yeah, I just don't want to read it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not fandom olds,
we're not,
I would say, but for the current era of fandom, we're fandom olds. We're approaching the point.
Finished with this yet, too. If I may just get past this finale thing.
Yes, please.
Oh, Lord. Right, okay, so let's hit those last those two episodes there, yeah.
We talked about November 5th, where season 15, episode 18 airs last week, where Cass is like, I'm, as Maddie put it last time, I'm in big homo love with you to Dean, and then he, like, dies, and it's kind of romantic, I guess.
It's romantically homophobic.
It's romantically homophobic. The scene is kind of weirdly edited, and there's, like, all of this stuff in the background, like, Jensen Ackles doing interviews where who plays Dean being like, oh, there were, talking about that scene, and like there were takes that they didn't use of it, and he had somebody else on set filming it on his phone so he could have like a record of it that wasn't like him being in the character or something. And he was talking about the series finale and saying like, yeah, he's something he felt kind of uncomfortable with. Like he's talked about that a lot leading up to it, and we were like, oh, is it because of the gay shit? It's because it's gay? And guess what? No, that's not.
Turns out it's because it's bad.
I
don't even know what happened in that in between. Episode 19. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah,
all of us were like, it happened. I don't know. They killed God, I think.
Cass wasn't in it. They killed God.
Again,
who's the villain now.
And that's not how tetanus works.
And then an episode later, they go on a hunt again. It's not tetanus. He doesn't get killed by tetanus. He doesn't
literally die of tetanus.
Okay. He gets stabbed in the stomach. That's how he dies.
Yes. Okay. Let's let Helena do.
Set in World War I. Oh.
Yeah. Let's let Helena finish.
Sorry. They're going on a hunt. Sam and Dean are going on a hunt again. The way to describe this episode, I think, is best personified by something I retweeted that I thought was a joke. Which was somebody saying, oh, Sam and Dean go to a pie eating contest, and they're just like, hey, this is great, and Dean's like, haha, yeah, but I miss Cass, and Sam's like, haha, yeah, and then he, like, pushes Dean's head into a pie, and I was like, that's funny, this is a shit post, and then, no, that actually happened.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Not word for word like that, but that happens in the episode. I just can't. They go on a hunt, and they go after the insane clown posse who's been like kidnapping children. I guess they're not vampires. Correct. I'm just.
They're ICP vampires.
They're ICP vampires who've been kidnapping children, and they're in a barn, and Dean gets stabbed by a fucking nail, and he dies. He dies. His adopted son, by the way, is God now.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Who doesn't save him? They're like, Dean is like, don't do anything. Like, no, I'm gonna die. Sam's like,
this is how I want to go.
This is how I want to go in a barn.
Filmed in the same
Dead by Daylighted on a hook.
I met my boyfriend.
Wait,
exactly.
Seriously? Wild.
Not the same barn, probably, but it looked like it.
No, I think it was the same set. I think somebody said it was the same set.
What is the reason?
Because there's like, I mean, there are a lot of barns in the Vancouver area, but
this is true.
They probably already knew where to hang the lighting rig for that one, so why not?
Probably go back to their favorite barn. Yeah, they have so many memories.
So many fond memories of
Sam
this barn.
grows older. He marries this nameless woman who we never see the face of. Yeah. Has a son who, shock and awe, he names Dean. And the little child has Dean on his overalls for us to know that he named his son Dean. He grows up and he dies. Meanwhile, Dean is in heaven. Bobby's there. Apparently, John is there, which sucks because John Winchester sucks.
John Winchester should not have gone to heaven.
he should not have gone to heaven. Dean drives around in his Impala. It's implied that Cass is
the car did go to heaven, though.
The car did go to heaven. Cass and Jack, who is their adopted son, have been fixing heaven to be nice for Dean, basically. They've been interior decorating. And then Dean drives around in his Impala for years, and we never see Cass in the same shot again. And we're like, what is the point? And then Sam dies eventually years later wearing a bad Party City wig and, like, bad old person makeup. And then he's dead. And we're like, okay, they're reunited in heaven now. Yay!
Yeah, I think Dean's like, you have to let me go, or like you're good to go now, or whatever, some shit. And his grown-up son says that before he dies, and everyone was like, oh. And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Yeah, so that was the ending. That was how Supernatural ended.
So, 5 days later,
and that's how Supernatural ended. Or did
And I know it was 5 days later
and
because
then
I just finished watching RoboCop and my brain was like big brain because I watched this really brilliant satire, shoot 'em up satire. And then I like an hour and a half later, I'm like, I'm gonna get on Tumblr just one more time and see what, fun and crazy Supernatural gifts people have put on my dash. And then people are talking about the Spanish dub of episode 18, the confession scene, which apparently, and I've seen the video, listened to the video numerous times, it apparently has Dean reciprocating Cass's declaration of love. So in the episode originally in English, Cass is like, oh, I'm in love with you. And Dean is like,
cool.
Kermit.
I think what he says is, why does this sound like a goodbye? And it's like, you simple bitch.
No, he says it beforehand, and then
okay.
I love you, and then he says, don't do this, and then the empty comes for Castiel. So it seems like in the context of the English version that we see, that the empty comes for Castiel because he's happy that he confessed to his love for Dean.
Yeah.
In this dub, which I don't want to sound like a conspiracy believing person, so I'm going to say, for the sake of losing all credibility I may have, which may or may not be real, I'm not going to say definitively either way. Dean says something which I don't actually
know the translation
to exactly to. What is it, Leah?
So in Spanish, what Cass says is "te amo," which is specifically the romantic form of love.
Yeah.
If it was platonic or familial, it would be te quiero. Yeah. And Dean replies with "yo a ti," which translates to "and I you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's video of this.
There is video.
So the idea, either way, it's fucking hilarious because dubbers, as we have been extrapolating the information on Tumblr, are given the original audio of the episode, or something. And so people have kind of made this into a bigger conspiracy than I think it is. I don't even think that conspiracy is really even the right word for it. That it's just that it's weird. Either somebody is out there dubbing this scene to make in a professional way themselves, who is a Destiel shipper, and then putting it on their TV with a timestamp and recording it like it looks like they're like it looks like a leak, which is the Supernatural fandom is
not that high tech.
Wait, that's the Italian dub, isn't it?
Well, there's the Italian one too. There is that, but the Spanish one too also has like
I didn't
a timestamp, but it has something else as well. Yeah. It's just like it's so you can say that somebody faked it, or that it was a rogue dubber, and the thing is like, if that didn't sound as equally ridiculous as the other possibility, which is just like they made some cuts and they made some edits and decided not to do that in the US version, I know that sounds like the less likely one because it validates us. But it's, to me, that both of them are equally ridiculous, and so I don't really know what to believe at this point. I honestly, I don't want to sound like I'm buying into, unsourced bullshit material. It's just like, both possibilities are ridiculous. And there's like all this extra information about like why the scene looks the way that it does, like why Cass like pushes Dean in one way and then he like ends up going in another direction. Like there's all this weird editing stuff that's just like, I don't know what's going on. And Jensen Ackles, by the way, since the finale has been absolutely fucking McSilent. He is like, he unfollowed the showrunner on Twitter, and like his last 2 likes were on Twitter were like Misha Collins and Bobo Behrens, who is the writer who wrote the that episode 15 times 18, and
Richard Speight directed it.
Good for Richard Speight. Hell yeah, he's an icon. Giving us one more
trick.
one more trick.
I mean, honestly, Helena, I realize that you're trying to protect your credibility on this show that you are a part of. But, like, I feel like every show has to have its conspiracy theory, right? If it's big enough.
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, I'm a little young for the original X-Files fandom stuff, but David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson had an affair in 1998. Like... that just happened.
Yeah. And I just don't want to make it sound like it's a bigger thing, because there's people who are saying very, pointing out very fair observations and facts, which are like, this is not out of the realm of possibility. But sometimes people go overboard, I think, with putting blame on certain people, and I just don't want to like fall into that trap of being like, it's all a big conspiracy, it's a web that we're all in the center of. Like, I just don't think it's that involved. I don't think anybody
it's just not that deep.
I don't think anyone here is Stephen Moffat deliberately making problems for the fans or anything. I'm just doing a whole lot of trash talking on here. I hope you don't care if Stephen Moffat never listens to your show.
Yeah, he's on the list of people who are never going to listen to our show.
I think
and I'm
I
like,
actually
good.
would be offended if he did listen to our show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moffat.
Stephen Moffat, if you're listening right now, you're a hack. Turn our podcast off.
Stephen Moffat, this is my official declaration of a challenge. Meet me in the pit.
Yeah.
We're not going to fight fair.
Turn on your location. I don't just want to talk.
I am on my way, and I will cough on you.
Oh, and there was like something else, like the Spanish episode the title was different.
Yeah, in every other episode,
this.
the title of the episode is The Truth, and in the US it's
Instead of Despair.
And this applies in Italy and in India as well. Although those dubs are not verified. I'm following all of this as well. Don't worry.
Also, Jared Padalecki is going to be in Walker, Texas Ranger. Anyway, continue.
Which is messed up.
Yeah.
Jared Padalecki is not a martial artist, and Walker, Texas Ranger was created for Chuck Norris to showcase his martial arts skills.
So, whatever, I guess.
Whatever. I was just thinking about, like, everything about Destiel has almost been like a fight with the creators, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like from the beginning, from the monster at the end of this book, when they introduced the concept of fandom into the canon of the show, it's been this just like absolutely batshit battle to get the fandom not even just recognized, but to not be made fun of by the show itself.
Yeah, to not get actively picked on.
And
which, to be fair, sometimes they/we should be picked on.
But
Supernatural fandom had its moments.
There's a couple of Supernatural episodes that just really make it not fun to be a part of fandom.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the other part. Is like...
I say the same thing about the Sherlock episode, which we're not going to get into because we're not talking about Sherlock.
No.
But
correct me if I'm wrong too. I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Keep going on that tangent.
I was going to start talking about Teen Wolf, so say what you're going to say.
Well, I just want to make sure if I like my trajectory of how they did Dean and Cass is correct, because like season 6, I feel like, and even parts of season 5 felt very much like they were already trying to be majorly no homo and leaning in on the kind of weird jokes that they do that Merlin did all the time when they're just like, they're not, but are they? And you're stupid if you think that they are, but are they? That kind of, they did a lot of that, I felt like, in season 5 and season 6. And then they just kind of, it felt like they just, because it wasn't working.
It wasn't working, and also because Castiel absorbed the Leviathan and became God, he wasn't in season 7 very much.
Right.
And so that was kind of, I felt like the goal with season 7 was supposed to be a kind of back to basics reset. Yeah. And it didn't work very well because there was the overarching plot of the Leviathan stuff, which didn't vibe super well. But that's also the season that has the Jersey Devil bit in it.
I like that.
So, yeah, but then, they start getting more cosmic again in seasons 8 and 9.
Well, and just like the purgatory stuff, it felt like that shit, it just sort of felt like they gave up after a certain point, not on making fun of the fandom, but on trying to no homo it, and we're just like, well, we're not doing it, but it is what it is. And then eventually in season 13, apparently, people have been saying, like, we've been kind of seeing it. They hired a gay writer at some point, one single gay writer at least, I think. Wow. Maybe a couple oothers, I don't know.
And they had the high schoolers do a musical about Destiel in canon.
Oh, me. Yeah, that's me.
That was all in the self-insert.
You know how I keep being like, what if I watch Supernatural and then you say shit like that and I spontaneously have hives all over my body?
Yeah, it's okay. You just have to watch seasons 1 through 5. It's all right.
Well, yeah. I mean, just skip that episode.
Yeah.
Just skip all the bad fandom episodes. I really want people to watch season 8 with me.
Just spend more time watching only the Gaara episodes of Naruto while I'm drunk with my roommate.
Alright, okay. Here's the thing. As someone who spent a lot of time in the Naruto mines, I would rather you be watching Supernatural. But that's, whatever.
Yeah, I know, but Liam O'Brien's not on Supernatural.
Not yet.
Oh, God.
It's over.
Hey, did you all know there's an animated season of Supernatural?
I was literally about to say the animated Supernatural. Yes,
man,
there is.
I was over here thinking,
God.
like, oh yeah, I didn't watch this show, but my, secondhand fandom knowledge is pretty comprehensive. Evidently, it is not.
Here's the problem. I don't think anyone's understanding of Supernatural is that comprehensive.
Ezra, I'm not going to be watching every single episode of the show, but I am going to be watching past season 5. So there is some good shit apparently.
I'll be watching random shit later on. I'm not going to watch all.
Please watch the season 8 LARPing episode.
I do like that episode. I have seen that one.
I know it has Felicia Day in it. I promise she's at her best.
Yeah.
All right.
I just wish Supernatural would stop bullying me specifically.
I know.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I haven't gotten any notifications about any new crazy Supernatural drama, so I guess that we're okay for now. But I feel
Don't
like
say that. We're gonna a week from now. We're gonna get some
Thursday
new crazy shit.
Helena,
I did.
Helena,
I'm jinxing it.
Turn around, go outside, turn around 3 times and spit. You basically just said the name of the Scottish play in a theater.
But I want there to be more drama.
Okay.
The monkey's paw just fucking curls in a finger somewhere.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's alright. I love you.
I kind of want to talk about...
You want to talk about Weentolf?
I want to talk about fandom relationships with creators and how that feeds queerbaiting.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Specifically, I want to talk about Weentolf or Teen Wolf.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I have my one point I want to make
to that this is yet another thing that I never watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun later when I take my 5 to 10 minutes to talk about Knights of the Old Republic, a game no one else has played.
I've watched my friend.
You
play
have
a
the
chunk of
second
that game,
most amount of knowledge, yeah.
and I have a lot of emotions about it.
I just care. I just care
love
it.
the Jedi so much. I mean, they're awful.
Anyway, go ahead.
I love them. Sorry, go
Yeah.
on.
They're awful and I love them.
Go nuts, babe.
So I watched a few seasons of Teen Wolf. I didn't really watch them while they were airing. But that was, it was the Super Hulock era. Merlin was still on. Teen Wolf was airing, and we all knew what a piece of crap Jeff Davis was. But there's, I mean, queerbaiting comes from the creators realizing that what they have is something marketable. And like somebody was saying earlier, I think this might have been before we were recording, with the screen cap saying, do you like this ship or do you like this ship?
Yes, that was me talking about Luffy.
Yeah, proud of you.
Thanks.
But I feel like very early on when fandom creators, when showrunners were kind of just starting to realize that they could connect with their fans via Twitter, the showrunner of Teen Wolf, Jeff Davis, did a poll of favorite ships in the fandom, and Styles and Derek was one of them on the list, and the other ones were all pretty much het ships. And I think Styles ended up having a different partner end game, obviously, because it was queerbaiting. But that kind of thing where, like, the fact that Sterek was even on the ship list, just sort of triggered this uproar in the fandom. And, it started petitions, and, there were similar antics from the Sherlock fandom as well. And somebody mailed Jeff Davis 600 cookies that all said Sterek on them. And just really absurd stuff like that. And, like, yeah, the Supernatural fandom the Sherlock fandom had the same thing where Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss, like, would get in interviews and, like, start deriding fans. And they would just, like, kick it right back. And
I have an important question about the Sterek cookies.
Yeah, they were catered.
Yeah. As someone who works in a grocery store bakery, the cocktail of emotions that I'm experiencing thinking about this are just, like, it's a weird combination of utterly feral and, like, my hand hurts just thinking about that.
To be fair, I think that they were, like, on printed paper. Like, the edible paper.
Yeah, one would fucking hope.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they force people to...
It's been a long
time,
and I don't remember what the photo looked like. But that was one of those, like, really humiliating moments in fandom. And, like, the Sherlock creators arguing and deriding the fans at the same time, and how the Supernatural episodes, like the monster at the end of this book, where they actively make fun of fans. But that's something that I think about a lot, because, it can't have been that hard to just be like, hey, it's not that big a deal. For the creators, I mean. Mm-hmm. But instead they chose to just fight back in these really atrocious ways. But then still continue to make false promises.
Yeah.
Which I think is the part that really just bites.
Yeah, it felt, and it's weird. It's the internet era has brought in this, like, parasocial relationship expectation between viewers and creators, and we see it manifest in, like, Twitch streamers and podcasters to an exorbitant degree, because those people are, like, inherently just closer to their audience, to, like, scary degrees. We've seen some of this shit. But it also manifests in terms of, like, fans and showrunners, and on one level, like, the showrunners don't owe you anything necessarily, but when they fucking make fun of you in public, like, it feels shitty when they do that, there was something, I think, kind of nice about an era where we ignored the showrunners and they ignored us, and we just kind of did whatever we wanted, as opposed to being, like, under a lens, almost. To be fair, like, in some ways, fandom realized that was something that we could do, and, like, put ourselves there, but that was out of, I think, kind of an inherent desire to connect with the people who create the things we care about. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's the way it happens that spins out so dramatically.
Yeah, and, like, we've all seen, I mean, maybe we haven't, maybe it's just me who watched grainy Supernatural convention videos in the dark.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, even early on, before Twitter was necessarily as much of a thing, you know, you got fans asking just invasive questions at conventions, and that created kind of that kind of initiated. I'm not saying, you know, it's the fans' fault, because it's obviously everybody could have handled it better. But, you know, there's definitely something to be said for kind of diving in there and just kind of asking invasive questions that didn't really set the stage very well.
I feel like a lot of the stuff with real people, you know, I've seen different questions, different discussions about different interactions at conventions and stuff, and one person asked the question in the tags of their post, which I think that a lot of people could do to ask, that was just like, is this just a theater kid thing? Because I feel like 9 times out of 10, I want to be like, yes, it is. Yeah. It's just a theater kid thing. It's just that when you sometimes, not everybody is the same, and like people have different approaches and different ways they work with their co-stars, but sometimes you just get really physically comfortable with the people that you work with when you do a show. That's just the way that it happens. Because you have to be in that place in order to like do what you have to do and be emotionally open and vulnerable with people, even if it's just like for pretend. So if that happens, in my experience doing a show over like a period of a few months, you extrapolate that into many, many years of doing a show together, and like you just get comfortable with each other. And so it's just like, I feel like more people should be asking that question. Just like, guys, I know that you want to read into it a little bit, and like to a certain degree, people are welcome to do what they want
in private.
Like in private, and don't
like keep their mouths shut.
Make the actors themselves look at that, because that can also be like, it's super uncomfortable.
It feels I think on some level it feels disrespectful, and it feels also like you know that feeling when someone says something about you and you just have this realization they just don't fucking know you at all, but they think they do. It feels disrespectful. And it also feels just kind of like intrusive, and I don't know. There's a reason I don't go to panels at conventions anymore, because I just don't I don't enjoy the way people feel they're entitled to talk to public figures sometimes.
Also, after that awful Westworld panel.
Oh yeah, also that panel just wasn't good.
That was the last time I went to a panel, which is why I brought it up.
I went to the Crit Roll panel and everyone was normal at that one. That was one where I was like, thank fucking God, because this could have gone so poorly.
The Crit Roll fandom has a lot of practice.
Yes.
For creators who are so close, so close to their fans. And just like, you've got a lot of fandom olds in there, and you've got, you know, people who are writing dark fic and who are writing RPF and who know to keep it to themselves.
I think you have a lot of people with Crit Roll who they are like, I want to be able to do my fandom stuff, and we want to preserve that closeness between fandoms and creators, so like there's a certain amount of fandom, you know, policing itself, so it's like, okay, guys, we gotta be cool so that everybody can stay cool.
I feel like the Crit Roll fandom saw what happened to a lot of previous fandoms. And learned from that, which is excellent, and I think we could all do that.
Nice.
Amen.
Maddie,
I know
you wanted to talk about something.
Soon. Yeah.
Ezra, we want to touch on the magicians.
Oh,
briefly.
yeah, we should bop into the magicians for a mo.
Do you all want to do your magicians thing first, or?
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
we could
do
bop
my
into
thing
that
first.
real fast. I think that's an interesting one where I liked the Quentin and Elliot relationship as it was because it had a believable air of, you know, sometimes people are out by the time they get to like grad school age, and sometimes people haven't figured out that they have the capacity to have like fall in love with people of the same gender yet.
Yeah.
And like that can be hard to figure out, and you had this sort of like, you could have had this really believable and interesting process of that happening, and then it happened in a timeline that then never happened, but oh wait, it did, you know, like, oh wait, we still remember it, and then it was like, oh, and we're gonna be edgy and kill off our main character.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost a counterpoint to queerbaiting.
Yeah.
Like, where they went ahead with it. Like, the first 2 seasons or so were really kind of teasing that. Right?
Yeah.
You know, Elliot's very flirty, and Quentin is, you know, not rejecting that.
Yeah, he's more receptive than you would expect a character written like that to be.
Exactly. But then, you know, they do have that one episode where they end up in this alternate timeline, and they have a whole life together. They, you know, they live together for their whole lives, and they're essentially married, and, you know, they pass away together.
Yeah. And it, to the extent to which their life together is, like, the meaning of life that, like, solves this puzzle that allows them to, like, save the world, basically.
Exactly. And then they get zapped back to the, you know, original timeline, and they confront it. They address it.
Yeah.
You know, they say, you know the line better than I do.
It's peaches and plums, motherfucker. Who gets proof of concept like that?
Who gets proof of concept like that? And so saying, you know we work well together.
Yeah, because we lived it.
Because we lived it. But they chose not to go that route. And I think that my take is that if the magicians had continued, if they hadn't, you know, killed off their main character, which is a bad choice for a lot of reasons, but if they had continued that I think that could have been a really interesting relationship to develop, because while, you know, they didn't, you know, when they discussed it, they decided not to pursue it at that time.
Yeah.
Right? When Quentin and Elliot discussed the fact that they had lived this whole life together, they chose not to continue that relationship in that way. But I think that it would have been a really interesting and satisfying and realistic plot line if they had continued to grow closer and closer together and still ended up together.
Yeah.
In a couple of years.
There's such an element of, like, you can be compatible. You know, that's a really interesting story about, like, you can be compatible with somebody, but there's so many other factors in terms of, like, outside stuff about whether or not you actually, like, end up having a relationship and making it work.
Like, you have other responsibilities, or it's not the right time, or you need to finish a project first, or you're living in different alternate universes, I think is one of the big ones in that case.
Yes, yeah, there's definitely a chunk of, you know, somebody gets their memory wiped. Oh my god, The Magicians is bug fight. Like, it's nuts. I liked that show, and then I kind of fell off of watching it because, I don't know, fucking, I'm depressed and I don't have an attention span.
I liked about half of that show, but there were, like, 2 concurrent plot lines, and I liked one of them and I hated the other one, so I couldn't keep watching it.
Fair.
But yeah, I think it's interesting when the writers choose to, you know, have explicitly gay characters and explore those possibilities, but not necessarily follow through with it. And I really think that that's, like, representative of, like, what's happening, what the next stage of fandom is. Like, first we had Xena, and then we had Supernatural, and now we have The Magicians, where they're just kind of, like, playing at it. They're like, oh, we can actually have gay characters now, but not too much. Right? Like, I feel like it would be remiss to not mention, like, Korasami or even, like, She-Ra here.
Yeah.
Although that's moving forward more.
Mm-hmm. Or like Steven Universe, or it's interesting because I feel like it's not easier, and I don't want to dismiss how hard those creators had to work, because we know how hard Rebecca Sugar or Noel Stevenson had to work to get kind of what they got. But we're seeing a lot of, or Adventure Time. Yeah. We're seeing a lot of those kind of come up in cartoons, mainly directed towards kids, but that are like appropriate for all ages. But in terms of shows directed towards adults, that's still like a wall that is so hard to push through for some reason.
Yeah.
Like the idea of like people forging emotionally serious connections in a way that is like treated normally.
Wonder
is
if
still
the live
sometimes so
action
hard to
barrier has anything to do with it.
Yeah, I wonder that too. I think part of it is, I know that there's the Supergirl ladies, those gals, people like them.
I guess, but don't they look like they're gonna cry every time they have to kiss?
Yes, but I think they're both played by straight women, and from what I hear, you can tell.
Yeah.
The Winona Ryder gals, I think, are pretty good, but like that's a pretty niche show.
Oh, Winona Earp.
Winona Earp, fucking, what did I
you said
oh my god, I just realized. Yeah, I realized, because I was thinking of the right thing, but my brain just said whatever it wanted. Yes, that show. That's a pretty niche show, but I think that did it pretty alright.
I mean, do I have to bring up the 100?
Or the 100, yeah.
Yeah, but didn't they immediately bury their gaze?
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, the discourse I saw about that show was off the wall.
That was like, I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were doing Buffy season 6 again.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, I do wonder, that's a good
Buffy
point.
Season 6, sorry.
Speaking of queer baiting, of early queer baiting.
I do wonder if the live action part is a barrier. Like, I wonder if, one, maybe it appears less threatening to have like queers drawn in a stylized way rather than like real people doing it. And I also wonder if like there is maybe some level of like there are actors who don't necessarily feel comfortable doing it.
Right.
Maybe that's not
especially
fair.
if that's not what they were hired for, though.
Exactly, right.
If it's something that developed later on in the show and they're like, I don't know, that's not really what I signed up for.
Right,
and, like,
exactly.
You know, I don't want to cast aspersions on anyone, but like, yeah, I mean, I know that there's a stigma about queer actors playing queer characters, because then they can worry about being typecast in the future,
or being outed,
and then there's always the difficulty with straight actors who might not want to play a queer character, or who might do it but might do it not well,
shittily,
like
Supergirl.
Just badly. It's like, I gotta play gay, but I'm really just not good at it.
Yeah, we're currently in an era where...
Shout out to John Barrowman for playing straight on Arrow.
Like, just, honestly...
Wow. Unbelievable. Like,
braver than any Marine. Yeah. God gives his toughest challenges to his strongest soldiers.
John Barrowman, our strongest soldier.
Our strongest soldier.
I mean, I'm sure he looks very nice in a British Army uniform.
Oh, he does. He wears an RAF coat in Doctor Who.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
About the coat.
Is that an RAF coat?
I'm not sure.
He says he's part of the RAF, is what he
I think
does.
it is. I'm pretty sure it's an RAF grey coat.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about the Doctor Who thing of like doctors and like male companions in their fucking jackets, and the anyway something 8th Doctor and Fitz leaving his jacket in the TARDIS, and then you see Nine wearing a leather jacket, and I'm like, I'm just gonna quietly subscribe to the theory that that's Fitz's jacket, and then they're like, but John Hurt, and I'm like, who? John Hurt who? Who'd he hurt?
Who?
Do they need help? No.
Sorry,
talking
shout
about
out to
Doctor
John
Who as like the
sorry.
one that didn't queerbait, you know?
Yup.
Yeah, the ones who just who were like, you know what, Jack is in love with both Rose and the Doctor, and we were like, yes, you're correct. You kissed them both
like,
on the fucking mouth.
I mean, that was
like,
the first.
Yeah.
That was the first Doctor Who kiss.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or the first.
It was,
God bless.
Yeah.
It was Jack, fucking
kissing
living
Christopher Eccleston.
every bisexual's dream and kissing Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper at the same time.
Yep.
She's wearing that punky fish hoodie. I can't get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's baby's first OT3.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Baby's first OT3.
And then he went on to have his own fucking show where he did basically that.
Where he got to be queer and poly and just absolutely delightful.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what, Doctor Who? We respect you.
Until Stephen Moffat took over.
We respect the Russell T Davies era. We complained about it while it was happening, but we didn't know how good we
had it. Ninth Doctor, I miss you. I'm free on Thursday. That's not true. I'm never free on Thursdays. I'm free on Wednesday. If you're free on Wednesday, let me know. Ninth Doctor specifically.
Christopher Eccleston, call me.
Christopher Eccleston, I think you're very cool, and you're like really the only Chris Instagram that we respect right now.
Christopher Eccleston, please listen to this podcast.
Please listen to this podcast.
Stephen Moffat banned. Christopher Eccleston VIP.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I will send you the outtakes for free, Christopher Eccleston. Anyone else can't get them for free, but he can have them. Moving from Doctor Who, I just have my one last
go for
thought,
your coda.
I think. Yeah, well, I think for me, it was a jumping off point to a greater conversation that I think we could do another episode on, where I was thinking a lot about, between watching Supernatural and playing Knights of the Old Republic, which is an early BioWare game, takes place like 3,000 years before the prequel movies of Star Wars. This was one of the first video games I ever played by myself, and it's an early BioWare game, but it still has romance, but they're all like straight romances. And this is when I thought I was a girl. Remember those days? I don't. So I was playing like a gal who romanced this guy. But now that I have like come out, I'm still partially a girl, but I prefer to play dudes because like being gendered as a woman feels like misgendering. But I'm like, this is still my husband. I wanted to kiss him, so I got a mod basically that lets me kiss him. But the game is fully voice acted, or almost entirely voice acted, so they couldn't change some of the lines, so he still refers to you as a woman sometimes. And it got me thinking about, like, and this, I was thinking with Supernatural too, like, the way, like, queer people will, like, make space for them in media that they love, and how sometimes, even though you change it, or it changes later on, it's not always, like, the way you want it to be, and sometimes it's, like, sometimes it feels disappointing and, like, a little sad, but it's also kind of like, this is better than it used to be, and I've still found, like, something cool and nice there, too. Like, and I think this can apply to, I don't know, a lot of different things. I think fandom does a lot of it, to be fair. You know, I don't know. It's just something I've been kind of mulling over. I don't have a really strong point for it yet. But this whole Destiel situation combined with, like, me playing Coder again and, like, playing as a dude and, like, trying to kiss this dude. So, like, playing this game that I love a lot and finally getting to play it as me, has been both satisfying and also, like, a little sad. Because it's not quite right still. As Destiel has been like, oh, this is, like, really cool, but also, like, kind of sad, because, like, they didn't really hit the mark on a few points, so...
Yeah. I think that's also really interesting in the context of, like, the subtext era that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, early Star Trek and Xena, specifically, and other things. Where, you know, even if the writers were on our side, even if they were, you know, trying to make space for queer people, trying to hint at it in a certain way, you know, it really wasn't explicit, and the fans, you know, connected to that anyway. And I mean, even thinking about, like, the stuff that we would read as as youngins
Mm-hmm.
who may or may not have known that we were queer yet. I'm thinking of Maddie, you and Helena and Inkheart.
Yeah, I was literally thinking of Inkheart as soon as you started talking. Please continue.
But like, yeah, so like taking something that, you know, really isn't made with you in mind and like making a spot for yourself in it.
Yeah.
Like even just, you know, I know that it's a whole other conversation to talk about like Lord of the Rings and homo-romantic love that happens there. But even something like that where you're just saying, hey, the way that these two people care about each other vibes with me, whether or not it was intended to be for me.
Correct. The reading of it still speaks to my experience, even if that was not the intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a really valuable thing, whether we're talking about something, you know, as iconic and monolithic as Lord of the Rings, or something as, you know, niche as, I mean, I guess nothing we've been talking about is really as niche as Inkheart or something.
Super niche. Yeah, well, yes.
Or something as goofy and just absolutely batshit absurd as Supernatural.
Right, yeah.
For the sake of our timing, I think I don't have anything more to say. But
no, yeah, I feel like that's, you know, I would love to come and have a bigger conversation about that at some point, and you are obviously invited back anytime.
I'd love that.
For sure.
But that was something I kind of figured would be a good ribbon, would be thinking about that, and especially in terms of, like, you know, Supernatural now is like, wow, that really, I don't know, it when people were making a space for themselves in Supernatural, I don't think any of us expected that it would go like this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's neither positive or negative. It's a, you know,
it's just interesting.
A neutral statement. Yeah, it's just interesting to kind of see it play out.
It's interesting to see how the show has changed around us, even if what we want is still the same thing.
And even if they made fun of us the whole way.
Yeah.
Yeah, kicking and screaming.
Yeah, exactly. So, with that, thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneeple at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneepleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our super snazzy logo was designed by Bethany Luthold. You can find her at bethanyluthold.wixsite.com. If you got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you absolutely think we need to see, or any secret Destiel leaks, come say hello. Also, if you can, as always, please leave a review on iTunes and share the show with any friends who you think would enjoy it. Any way you can help us spread the news helps us so much, and we would really appreciate it. As always, thanks for listening, and someday we'll see you at the movies again.